Hi, my name is Joshua Zeiber, editor of The Video File movie and home theater blog. Welcome to Film at 11. This week I'm joined by my son Thomas. For those of you who may understandably have a little trouble telling my two 11-year-old sons apart, this is the one who really liked Pirates of the Caribbean and not so much Superman or Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
Please go back and watch those episodes if you missed them. I usually start these episodes by saying that this is the podcast in which I introduce my sons to famous movies they've never seen before. Sometimes those movies are more famous than others, and we've watched a few that my boys had never even heard of before watching them. This week I don't think we'll have that problem. This is a very famous movie, perhaps one of the most famous movies of all time, yet Thomas here has somehow not seen it. I wonder why that is. Well, it's time to fix that problem, so today we are going to watch Jurassic Park. Yes. Steven Spielberg's dinosaur epic, the first in a long-running franchise. Thomas, you have not seen this before. Why is that?
I don't know.
You don't know? Could it maybe because you are a big old scaredy cat? Maybe. Oh well.
Sad face.
You're gonna have to deal with some scary stuff in this one. I think you might enjoy it, though. So we're going to watch Jurassic Park, and we'll see you in a few minutes. We have a T-Rex. Yes, we've just come back from watching Jurassic Park. Thomas, did you survive? Are you okay? Are you my little scaredy cat kid? Did you get a little too traumatized by that movie? A little bit?
Definitely.
There were a couple of scary parts in that movie, yes.
Sorry.
But overall, did you like the movie?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So we'll go right at the beginning with our rating scale on this podcast, which is either a W or an L. Would you call this Jurassic Park a W or an L?
A W.
A W. Now, is that a big W or a little W?
Medium-sized W.
Only a medium-sized W, really.
Yeah, it's not a little W, but it's not a big W.
Okay. Thomas, I saw Jurassic Park in the theater in 1993 when it came out, and you cannot understand how huge this movie was. It quickly became the most popular movie ever of all time. It grossed more money at the box office than any movie had ever had before it. In fact, it broke the record that director Steven Spielberg had previously set with another movie, E.T., which had been the highest grossing movie of all time up until then. And then he smashed his own record with Jurassic Park. I saw this movie, I would say, at least 3 times in the theater, and that was... I mean, everybody saw this movie multiple times in the theater. I had a friend who saw it 7 or 8 times. Do you understand what the fuss is about, watching it now, 30 years later? Not really? Okay. So why is that? What were your thoughts on this movie?
It was okay.
It was just okay?
I mean...
Well, tell me about it.
Oh.
Do you feel that you've seen so many newer movies that have, because a lot of the draw of this movie was its special effects, which this was the first time any movie had come out that had pretty plausible looking dinosaurs that didn't look like puppets, that didn't look like they were made of rubber and pulled around on strings. And that was a huge special effects breakthrough at the time. But you've seen a lot of movies that have come out since then, in the years since then, where the special effects have only gotten better and better and better. So do you think that the appeal of that has diminished because of that? Okay. What did you think of the special effects in this movie? Did you feel that they held up?
Yeah, I guess.
You guess. I noticed that at the very beginning, there were a couple of scenes where the effects were a little dodgy, and you had commented on it while we were watching. And it's true, because these were some fairly early CGI dinosaurs at the beginning of the movie. But there's a lot of stuff, the dinos, they're all through the movie after that, and I think most of the ones after that, after the beginning, hold up pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they weren't all CGI. There was a lot of stuff that was done with mechanical dinosaurs, and stuff that was really on their set, so the actors were actually interacting with them. Um, what did you think about the fact that kids were a central focus of this movie?
Eh.
Did you find the kids likable, or did you find them annoying?
Annoying.
Annoying. They were a little bit annoying, weren't they? Yeah, that was a kind of a common criticism at the time the movie came out, that there was too much focus on the kids, as opposed to the grown-ups. But at the same time, that helped a lot of kids in the audience relate to the movie a little bit better. Um, so I want you to talk, Thomas. What are your thoughts on this movie? What parts did you like? What parts did you not like?
Didn't like the scary parts.
The scary parts. You're watching a monster movie and you don't like the scary parts. What one in particular?
I didn't.
What was the scariest scene for you?
I didn't like the part where the T-Rex first appeared.
Okay, where the T-Rex first appeared and attacked the Jeeps?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was the scariest scene for you? That was a pretty intense scene. I mean, I gotta say, even decades later, that scene holds up really well. That it's still... Because you believe that T-Rex is in the scene and then it's going to attack them, yes? Okay. So, as I mentioned, this movie was directed by Steven Spielberg. Is this the first Spielberg movie you've actually seen? It may be. You've seen movies that he had a hand in making, where he was a producer, like The Goonies, and Gremlins, and he was part of that. But he didn't actually direct those movies. He's a very successful director, one of the most successful directors of all time. And I don't know that I would necessarily say this is his best movie. He's made some that are really terrific.
Like what?
He made all of the Indiana Jones movies. He made Jaws. You'll see a lot of his movies later. But this was one of his most popular, especially at the time. And I think that it still holds up as a piece of like a really thrilling piece of entertainment, even if some parts of it haven't aged well. The computer stuff with them working with the computers in the park looks pretty funny. How dated those computers are.
The plot holes.
What plot holes did you find in here?
Why would they make dinosaurs if they were gonna eat people?
Well, I mean, the guy who owned the park thought that he had them under control. He thought that he could cage them in, and he would get the right people in, who would keep them under control so that they wouldn't be able to attack the guests.
Not very smart.
Perhaps it wasn't very smart. Well, that's the arrogance of humans, that we think that we can control the world. And one of the messages of the movie is that ultimately, nature is gonna find a way to come up on its own. Was that your only complaint there?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have a favorite scene?
I liked the part with the kitchen and the part where the T-Rex came into the room and ate the velociraptors.
All right. So the scene in the kitchen where the velociraptors were hunting the kids.
Yeah.
And the kids had to outsmart them. And then, I mean, spoiler alert for one of the most famous movies of all time. But yes, then the T-Rex basically saves the day at the end and comes in and eats the raptors, which I think is pretty funny and interesting in that, what it's saying is that the T-Rex isn't evil. I mean, none of these dinosaurs are really evil. They're just dinosaurs being dinosaurs. This is what they do. They got to eat. They're hunters, and they gotta hunt.
They hungry boys.
Yeah, they're hungry and they gotta hunt, and they don't like it when you just like put a goat down and expect them to come and eat it. Their nature is that they have to, to hunt it. So the dinosaurs themselves are not evil in this movie, even though they are the scariest parts of the movie. The real villain is Nedry. who is, shuts down the computer system so that he can steal some of the embryos. So he's planning to sell them. Um, but also just the fact that that Hammond, the guy who owns the park, thought he could control this when he really he was way out of his depth, and he didn't. He was so arrogant and assuming that he could build something that would contain dinosaurs. It was really his fault,
Yeah.
If he shouldn't have done it, basically. People shouldn't have tried to bring back dinosaurs. There's a reason dinosaurs are extinct. Thomas, I noticed that you kind of complained a lot during this movie that I had it too loud in here. Is that fair to say?
It was very loud.
It was very loud, but I mean, to be fair, this is supposed to be a loud movie. It's a loud roller coaster thrill ride movie with dinosaurs in it. And as I said, I saw this in the theater the day, and it was famous for how loud it was. I mean, it was punishingly loud in a theater. It was when that T-Rex roared, you really just felt it all through your body. And I didn't have it up nearly that loud in here, but I did turn it up a little bit. So you didn't like that part of it? No? Okay.
It was too loud.
It was too loud for you? We'll work on that. Did you have a favorite character?
I liked the the T-Rex.
The T-Rex was your favorite character?
Yeah.
Even when the T-Rex was, eating people?
Yeah.
Like it ate that lawyer.
Yeah, that's why he's my favorite.
Okay. You did enjoy the movie overall, you say?
Yeah.
Okay. There are a lot of sequels to this movie. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know that any of them are any good. I've seen some of them. They weren't very good. It's unfortunate. They keep making them, and they don't really get much better. The first one is still the best. I say generally. But you did enjoy it. Okay. Do you think you would watch another scary monster movie in the future, or was this just too much for you to handle?
Not very scary.
Not very scary?
Scary.
Okay. Well, we hope you enjoyed this content. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. For a grown-up take on movies.
Subscribe.
For a grown-up take on movies, visit videophileblog.com and check out our past episodes as well. And as we go, I just want to say, always remember, hold on to your butts.
Get out.
Ooh, Jurassic Park 4K on physical media for the best possible picture and sound. So exciting. Let's put this on my small TV first to get a test before we fire it up on the home theater. Disc is loading and loading and loading. Oh, here we go. Got the studio logo. And here's the menu finally, after a minute and a half. Ooh, DTSX sound. I bet that's amazing. Let's go right to the first appearance of dinosaurs in the movie, shall we? Here we go. The first dinosaur appearance on screen. Well, what happened there? Oh. That's not supposed to happen. Let's back up a little bit. Here we go. Chapter 5. Let's try it again. And nope. Yep, that's it. It's dead. This is why streaming is winning, folks. Come on, people. Better quality control.